Ever feel like you're trying your absolute best, but something invisible is pulling you backward? You've got the goals, the motivation, even the routines, yet focus still slips, distractions still creep in, and your productivity never quite hits that peak level you know you're capable of. Here's the twist most people never consider. Your environment is quietly controlling your performance more than your willpower ever will. In this video, we're breaking down how the spaces around you, your desk, your room, your digital screens, even the sounds and scents in the background, are either sharpening your mind or silently sabotaging it. And the best part? You don't need expensive gear, a fancy office, or a massive overhaul. Just a few smart tweaks can transform your environment into a system that pushes you toward your goals automatically, without stress, without forcing discipline, and without fighting your brain's natural tendencies. Today, you'll learn how to engineer your surroundings for peak performance. So staying focused becomes effortless, creativity flows naturally, and productivity finally feels like something you do, not something you struggle for. Chapter 2. The Power of the Physical Workspace, Beyond Just a Desk. Your workspace is not just where you get things done, it's the command center of your mind. Every element in your physical environment either amplifies your cognitive power or drains it silently in the background like a leaky battery. Most people underestimate this. They see a desk, a chair, a laptop, maybe a lamp. But high performers? They see a system, a carefully engineered ecosystem that shapes how long they can focus, how deeply they can think, and how easily they can get into flow. In this chapter, we break down how your physical workspace influences everything from your creativity to your stress levels, and how to turn it into a high-performance arena. 1. Lighting, the invisible productivity booster. Lighting isn't just about seeing, it's about how your brain operates. Natural light increases energy, alertness, mood, and cognitive endurance. Warm evening lighting supports calm and reduces mental fatigue. Harsh fluorescent lighting increases stress and shortens attention span. You've probably experienced this without realizing it. Ever notice how you feel instantly more alive in a bright cafe than in a dim room? That's your brain responding to environmental signals. Good lighting doesn't just help you work, it makes your brain want to work. Action step. Position your desk near a window, if possible. If not, use a daylight balanced lamp, 5,000 to 6,500 K. Your mind will thank you every day. 2. Ergonomics. Comfort is not a luxury. It's a performance factor. You can't perform at your peak if your body is fighting the environment. Poor ergonomics leads to shoulder tension, wrist strain, back pain, fatigue, shortened focus spans. You might not notice the physical strain immediately, but over the course of a day, your body drains energy just trying to compensate. That's energy you should be using for thinking, creating, building, solving. Key adjustments. Your screen should be at eye level. Your chair should support your lower back. Your feet should rest flat on the floor. Your wrist should be neutral, not angled. Your body is part of your productivity system. Treat it like one. 3. Strategic placement, making success frictionless. The biggest productivity killers aren't always big obstacles. Often, they're tiny points of friction. Every time you have to get up to find a notebook, dig through a drawer for a pen, or untangle a cable, you pay a small cognitive toll. Most people don't notice these micro delays, but top performers eliminate them ruthlessly. The rule: anything you use daily should be within arm's reach. Anything non-essential should be out of sight. This reduces decision fatigue, speeds up workflow, and makes your workspace feel clean and intentional. 4. Sound and acoustics, the mental noise you ignore. You probably don't realize how much background noise affects your brain until it's gone. A noisy environment increases cortisol. Random sounds break your focus. Conversations nearby hijack attention due to a built-in survival instinct. High performers protect their soundscape like it's sacred. Solutions: noise-canceling headphones, low ambient instrumental music, white noise, or nature sounds. A quiet workspace designated only for deep work. The quieter the external world becomes, the louder your clarity gets. 5. A workspace designed for your brain, not your ego. This is where most people mess up. They design workspaces that look aesthetic, not ones that enhance cognition. A perfectly staged desk on Instagram might be visually stunning, but cognitively draining. Your workspace should be personal, functional, clean, aligned with your workflow, designed for your mind, not for social media. This is the difference between a workspace you admire for 5 seconds and one that helps you produce for 5 hours. 6. The subtle art of visual cues. Your brain loves environmental cues. They act as autopilots. A clean desk signals start fresh. A notebook placed open signals right. A water bottle within reach signals hydrate. A messy stack of papers signals avoid this. Whether you mean to or not, you respond to what you see. So design visual triggers that pull you into the habits you want and remove the ones that derail you. 7. The workspace as an identity reinforcement tool. Your environment doesn't just shape your productivity, it shapes who you believe you are. A cluttered, chaotic workspace reinforces the identity of someone who's scattered, overwhelmed, or unfocused. A clean, intentional, optimized workspace reinforces the identity of someone who takes their goals seriously, respects their craft, operates with clarity, shows up with discipline, expects excellence from themselves. Identity drives behavior, and your environment feeds your identity. Final thought for Chapter 2. A workspace is not a luxury. It's a psychological foundation. When you engineer your physical surroundings with intention, you eliminate friction, reduce mental noise, and create a space where focus isn't forced. It flows naturally. Your desk becomes more than a surface. Your room becomes more than a space. Your environment becomes a silent partner in your success. Chapter 3. Digital Dominion. Taming your screens for peak output. Your physical environment shapes your clarity, but your digital environment shapes your attention. And in today's world, attention is your most valuable currency. Your phone, laptop, and apps are the modern-day equivalent of a busy marketplace. Loud, chaotic, attention-grabbing, and always pulling you somewhere you didn't intend to go. Here's the truth. If you don't design your digital world, it will design you. And it's designed very well to distract you, consume your time, and overload your brain. This chapter teaches you how to take back control, shape your digital space intentionally, and turn your devices into tools of performance rather than sources of chaos. 1. The hidden chaos of digital clutter. You might think your desk is clean, but your desktop, your inbox, your notifications, probably a mess. Digital clutter overwhelms your mind in the same way physical clutter does, except it's more silent and dangerous because you don't see it. Hundreds of screenshots, random files scattered on your desktop, a notification badge quietly screaming 74 unread messages. Apps you never use, tabs you haven't closed in months. Every single one of these creates a background hum of stress. It's like digital dust. You get used to it until one day your brain feels heavy, unfocused, slow. That's not you losing motivation. That's your cognitive load maxing out. 2. Mastering notifications, the 21st century battleground. Your notifications are not reminders. They are interruptions. Every time you hear a ping, see a banner slide in, or feel your phone buzz, your brain releases a microdose of stress. It yanks your attention away from what matters and throws you into reactive mode. High performers don't rely on willpower to resist distractions. They engineer an environment where distractions never appear in the first place. Your new rules. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Disable lock screen alerts. Keep your phone on silent during work hours. Move distracting apps off your home screen. Delete apps that serve no purpose. This isn't about discipline. It's about removing the traps entirely. 3. Declutter your digital workspace. Just like your desk, your digital space should be clean, intentional, and frictionless. Start with your desktop. 0 icons. 1 clean wallpaper. Sorted files in organized folders. A clear digital environment creates instant mental clarity. Then your browser. Close all tabs at the end of the day. Use a bookmarks bar for essentials only. Remove addictive websites from quick access. In your inbox, unsubscribe from anything useless. Archive often. Aim for fewer than 10 active emails. This is digital minimalism in action, not as a trendy aesthetic, but as a performance requirement. 4. Focus modes, turning digital tools into allies. Your devices have built-in technology designed to help you focus. Most people simply never use it. Examples: Do Not Disturb mode, focus modes on phones, app timers, website blockers, priority notifications, Pomodoro timers. These tools limit access to distractions and enforce focus boundaries automatically. The goal isn't to resist temptation. It's to remove temptation from the equation. 5. The science of deep work in a digital era. Deep work isn't just a concept. It's a neurological state. To get there, your brain needs 0 interruptions, single task focus, predictability, time to warm up, an environment without noise. But the digital world is built on multitasking, instant gratification, pop-ups, algorithms, notifications, infinite scroll. So your job is to engineer a digital space that supports deep work instead of destroying it. Set blocks of time where only one tab is open. Notifications are off. You have a specific task and deadline. Your workspace is built for laser focus. Deep work is the superpower of the 21st century, and your environment is the gateway to it. 6. Digital detoxing. Micro breaks, massive impact. Your brain wasn't built for the nonstop intake of digital information. Every time you scroll, swipe, click, watch, or skim, you're feeding your mind stimulus after stimulus. Over time, this kills creativity and makes your brain dependent on fast dopamine. But here's the secret. You don't need a weekend-long detox. You just need micro resets. Examples: 5 minutes of eyes away from the screen every hour. A short walk without your phone. A no-screen lunch. 10 minutes of breathing without digital input. Phone-free mornings or nights. These short breaks restore your cognitive power and keep your mind sharp. 7. Curating your digital inputs. What you consume shapes how you think. If your digital world is full of chaos, negativity, random content, memes, gossip, toxic comments, endless scrolling, it's no wonder you struggle with focus. Choose your inputs intentionally. Follow creators who inspire, not distract. Keep your feed clean. Use apps that support learning. Listen to content that sharpens your mind. Remove sources and nonsense. Protect your attention like treasure, because it is treasure. 8. Building a digital system that works for you. Your digital environment should be tailored to your life and goals. Ask yourself, what drains my energy online? What tools actually help me work? Which apps waste my time? What digital habits make me feel sharper? What systems can I automate? Then build a digital structure that removes friction and amplifies productivity. A powerful digital ecosystem is organized, distraction-proof, intentional, supportive, high clarity, low friction, aligned with your goals. Final thought for Chapter 3. Your digital world is the landscape of your modern life. If you don't control it, it will consume you. But when you engineer it intentionally, when you reshape your screens, apps, notifications, and habits, your devices stop pulling you away from your goals and start pushing you toward them. Master your digital environment, and you master your attention. Master your attention, and you master your results. Chapter 4. Sensory Optimization. Designing an environment your brain loves. If your physical workspace sets the structure and your digital world sets the flow, then your senses set the experience. Most people underestimate this part because it feels extra, like something you only worry about after everything else is perfect. But here's the truth. Your senses are quietly steering your performance long before you notice. They shape your mood, your energy, your creativity, and your ability to stay locked in. This chapter is where you start engineering your environment on a deeper level, the level your brain is most responsive to. 1. The silent power of scent. Scent is one of the fastest ways to shift your mental state. Your olfactory system is directly connected to the emotional center of your brain, meaning certain smells can instantly activate calm, focus, or alertness without any effort from you. Peppermint boosts alertness and sustained attention. Lavender reduces stress and stabilizes mood. Citrus, like lemon or orange, increases energy and positivity. You don't need anything fancy. Even a subtle essential oil diffuser or a scented candle can map your brain into a more productive state. The trick is consistency. Use the same scent every time you're in deep work mode. Over time, your brain forms an association and shifts into focus faster, almost like a switch. 2. Sound, the hidden scriptwriter of your mind. Whether you realize it or not, sound is constantly scripting the background of your mental movie. It determines how fast your thoughts move, how easily you get distracted, and how long you can maintain flow. Here's how to shape your sound environment intentionally. Instrumental music, lo-fi, classical, ambient, reduces cognitive load and keeps your mind steady. Nature sounds, rain, wind, waves, can lower stress and create a soothing mental rhythm. White/brown noise blocks sudden distractions and keeps your brain in a smooth, uninterrupted groove. But here's the power move. Customize your sound identity. Create specific playlists or sound types for different work phases, high-focus tasks, light admin work, studying, or creative brainstorming. This anchors your brain to specific mental modes. 3. Lighting, your brain's biological director. Lighting doesn't just illuminate your space. It sets your internal clock, regulates your hormones, and determines how awake or sleepy you feel. You can use this to your advantage. Bright, cool lighting boosts alertness and analytical thinking. Warm, soft lighting enhances creativity and reduces stress. Natural light is the ultimate cheat code. It improves mood, reduces fatigue, and enhances cognitive performance. If natural light is limited, use a warm tone lamp for evenings and a bright white lamp for mornings. When you match your lighting to your task, you're basically giving your brain the exact fuel it needs. 4. Temperature and air quality, the subtle but mighty factors. No one talks about these enough, yet they're some of the biggest performance killers. When a room is too warm, your brain gets sluggish. Too cold, and your concentration drops. The sweet spot? 20 to 22 degrees Celsius, 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Air quality is just as important. Stale air lowers focus and increases fatigue. Even opening a window for a few minutes or adding a small desk plant can raise the oxygen level in the room and wake your brain up. Plants like snake plants, pothos, or peace lilies silently improve air quality and add a sense of calm. 5. Nature, your brain's built-in anti-stress system. Humans aren't designed to stare at walls and screens all day. Even tiny touches of nature, real plants, sunlight, wooden textures, stones, or photos of landscapes, can improve focus and emotional stability. This effect is so powerful, it's actually backed by neuroscience. Natural elements activate the parasympathetic nervous system, helping you stay calm and grounded while working. If you can't bring nature in, bring nature onto your screens. Calming wallpapers, scenic screensavers, or soft natural color palettes. 6. Building your sensory blueprint. To finish off this chapter, here's the framework. Pick a scent for focus. Choose a sound environment for different task types. Set your lighting based on the time of day and the kind of work you're doing. Balance temperature in the performance zone. Add a natural element. Even one plant makes a difference. When you intentionally design your sensory environment, you're giving your brain the conditions it naturally thrives in. Suddenly, focus feels easier. Stress feels lighter. Work feels smoother. Your senses become your allies, not your saboteurs. And that's when your environment stops being a background and becomes a powerful tool for peak performance. Chapter 5, Digital Dominion. Mastering your screens before they master you. Most people think their digital world is something they just use. They don't realize that it's quietly shaping their mood, draining their attention, and dictating the pace of their day. Your phone, your laptop, your apps, they're not neutral tools. They're environments. And very few environments are as sabotaging as an unmanaged digital space. In this chapter, you take back control. No more drowning in tabs, juggling notifications, or jumping between apps like you're being remote controlled. This is where you build a digital ecosystem that works for you, not against you. 1. The hidden weight of digital clutter. A messy physical room stresses you out, but a messy digital space does it silently. You may not feel it consciously, but your brain is constantly trying to keep track of dozens of open tabs, random files on your desktop, endless notifications, apps demanding attention, tasks scattered between multiple platforms. Every one of these little fragments steals mental bandwidth. Digital clutter equals mental clutter. So the first step is a digital reset. Your 10-minute digital declutter. Close all tabs except the essentials. Clean your desktop. Nothing should be there except what you actually need today. Create a simple folder system, work/personal/projects. Delete apps you never use. Yes, those ones. Archive old emails so your inbox isn't screaming at you. After this reset, your digital space becomes lighter. Your mind stops juggling useless information. Focus becomes easier. 2. Notifications, the thieves of deep work. Most people don't realize how many times a day their attention gets hijacked. A notification is not just a sound. It's a full interruption. It breaks your mental flow and forces your brain to restart the task from scratch. Research shows it can take up to 23 minutes to get back into deep focus after even a tiny distraction. That's insane. So here's the rule. Turn off every notification that isn't a message from an actual human in your life. Something directly related to your current work. Something that ensures your safety. Everything else? Trash it. Mute it. Silence it. Your future self will thank you. 3. Focus modes. Your digital force field. Your phone and computer already have built-in tools to protect your concentration. You just probably never use them. Use these features like armor. Do not disturb. App timers. Focus modes, work, study, sleep. Website blockers. Pomodoro timers. Set up a work mode that automatically silences non-essential apps. Blocks time-wasting sites. Dims notifications. Keeps your workspace clean. Once this is set up, you've created a performance environment that triggers the brain to focus instantly. 4. Taming the tabs, the mental tax you never noticed. Having 15 to 50 tabs open is like having 15 to 50 people tapping your shoulder saying, "Don't forget about me." Stop doing this to yourself. The solution: keep a maximum of 5 tabs open when working. Use read later tools to save articles, not your brain. Bookmark recurring resources and close the rest. This reduces cognitive load and makes your workflow smoother. 5. The power of a clean digital aesthetic. Your digital environment has a vibe, and that vibe affects you. Think about how different these feel. A chaotic desktop versus a minimalist one. A bright, distracting wallpaper versus a calm, neutral one. Messy folder icons versus clean organization. Your digital look should support focus, not fight it. Quick upgrades. Use a simple, soft color wallpaper. Keep desktop icons to a minimum. Use organized folders instead of scattering files. Choose calming screensavers or clocks. A clean digital aesthetic quietly signals your brain. This is a space for clarity and intention. 6. Digital detox micro breaks. Your brain isn't built for nonstop screen time. Every hour or so, give yourself a micro break. Even 30 seconds counts. Look away from the screen. Stretch your hands. Take a deep breath. Walk 5 steps. These tiny resets prevent burnout, reduce eye strain, and boost long-term focus. It's not about taking less screen time. It's about taking smart screen time. 7. Building your digital ecosystem. At the end of this chapter, your goal is to create a coordinated digital system, not random habits. Your digital ecosystem should protect your attention, reduce cognitive load, guide your workflow, support deep work, keep distractions at the edge, not the center. Think of it as digital feng shui. Every screen, every app, every notification has a purpose. Nothing is allowed to drain your mental energy for free. Once your digital world becomes intentional, your productivity stops feeling forced. You stop battling your own tech. You start flowing. And suddenly, your digital environment becomes a silent partner in your success. Chapter 6, Sensory Optimization. Training your senses to work for you, not against you. Most people think performance is all about mindset, discipline, motivation, and to-do lists. But there's a hidden layer that shapes your productivity even before you think. Your senses. Your senses quietly influence your mood, energy, focus, stress levels, and creativity. They filter your reality before your brain even gets a say. When you optimize them, you're not just improving your environment. You're upgrading the operating system your brain runs on. This chapter is where your world starts supporting you on a biological level. 1. The sensory quiet war. How your senses dictate your state. Every second, your environment feeds you sensory input. Light, sound, scent, temperature, air quality. Most people are completely unaware of how these subtle forces shape their ability to think, decide, concentrate, and stay calm. Your senses are always talking to your brain. This chapter teaches you how to make them say the right things. 2. Light, the unseen productivity switch. Lighting can make the difference between I can't focus and I'm in the zone. Natural light, the gold standard. Sunlight boosts. Serotonin mood. Dopamine motivation. Alertness. Circadian rhythm stability. If you can, work near a window. If you can't, mimic natural light. Artificial light. Use it intentionally. You want bright, cool light for focus. Warm, soft light for relaxation or creative thinking. Avoid harsh overheads. Avoid dimness that make your brain go into sleep mode. Avoid blue light overload late at night. Light is powerful. Use it like a tool. 3. Sound, the invisible disruptor or booster. Your brain reacts to sound even if you think you're ignoring it. That's why random voices and background noises tank your concentration. 3 types of sound environments. 1. Chaotic noise. People talking, traffic, TV, notifications. This destroys deep work. 2. Neutral noise. Cafes, soft movement sounds, distant hums. This can help creativity and make tasks feel lighter. 3. Engineered sound. Music designed for focus, ambience, white noise, nature sounds. This is your superpower for sustained concentration. What to use? Lo-fi beats, soft instrumentals, rain sounds, brown noise, nature ambience, slow-tempo playlists. What to avoid? Lyrics, they steal processing power. Loud bass, songs you want to sing along to. Sound sets your mental rhythm. Pick the soundtrack that matches your intention. 4. Scent, the most underrated cognitive upgrade. Scent bypasses thinking and goes straight into emotional centers of the brain. Used right, it can increase alertness, reduce stress, sharpen focus, improve memory retention. Try these. Peppermint, energy plus alertness. Citrus, motivation plus clarity. Lavender, calm plus reduced tension. Eucalyptus, refresh plus mental reset. A diffuser, candle, or even a simple room spray can shift your mental state in seconds. 5. Nature, the human brain's original operating system. Humans are biologically wired to respond positively to natural elements. Adding even a tiny touch of nature has massive psychological benefits. Add a small plant, natural light, wooden textures, stone or natural materials, nature-inspired wallpaper, a desktop background with mountains or forest imagery. Nature reduces cognitive fatigue and restores baseline focus faster than artificial environments. 6. Temperature and air quality, the silent performance killers. If your environment is slightly too hot, too cold, or poorly ventilated, your productivity drops. Not because you're lazy, but because your biology is fighting discomfort. Optimal performance zone. Temperature, 20 to 23 degrees Celsius, 68 to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Air quality, fresh, circulating, lightly cool. If the room is stuffy, your brain gets sluggish. If the room is too warm, your alertness tanks. If it's too cold, your body wastes energy staying warm instead of concentrating. Even tiny temperature tweaks can change your entire mental energy. 7. Your personalized sensory profile. Not everyone responds the same way to the same stimuli. The goal is to build a sensory environment that fits you. Ask yourself, do I focus better with silence or soft sound? Do I think better with cool or warm lighting? Which scents keep me awake? Which relax me? Do plants calm me or distract me? Do I like warm or cool temperatures when concentrating? Your environment becomes powerful when it matches your biology instead of fighting it. 8. Integrating the senses, building a performance ecosystem. Peak performance happens when all 5 senses are aligned toward the same intention. For example, cool natural light plus instrumental music plus peppermint plus plant plus clean air equals laser-focused work mode. Or warm amber light plus soft ambient sound plus lavender plus cozy textures equals relaxed creative brainstorming. Your environment should signal the state you want to be in before you even sit down. When your senses work together, productivity stops feeling like effort. It feels natural. Chapter 7. Implementing your performance ecosystem. You've learned how environment influences your mind. You've discovered how light, sound, scent, organization, and sensory cues shape your energy and focus. Now comes the chapter that separates dreamers from performers. Implementation. Knowledge changes nothing. Environment changes everything only when you design it intentionally. This chapter gives you the action plan, a step-by-step blueprint to turn everything you've learned into a personal ecosystem that supports peak performance daily. Let's build a world that builds you. 1. The 5-minute environmental audit, finding your quick wins. Before you redesign anything, you need awareness. Not hours, not a weekend. 5 minutes. Sit in your workspace. Look around. Then ask, 1. What is helping me? Be honest. Is sunlight helping? Is there one tool always at arm's reach that boosts efficiency? Is a plant making the space feel calmer? 2. What is silently draining me? This is the gold. Look for clutter, cables, old notebooks, dusty corners, noise, uncomfortable chairs, bad lighting, random items stealing your attention. Most people don't realize their environment is slowly eating away their energy like a leak in a water tank. 3. What is missing? This is where upgrades happen. Do you need a lamp? A second monitor? A plant? Noise-canceling headphones? A better desk layout? Your performance ecosystem starts with awareness, not buying things. Because once you see the problem, you can fix it almost instantly. 2. Creating functional zones. One space, multiple modes. The highest performers don't just organize their environment. They assign purpose to every area within it. The three-zone system: simple, powerful, science-backed. Zone A, the focus zone. This is where deep work happens. No clutter, no distractions, only tools you actually use. This zone should immediately signal to your brain: when I sit here, I work. Zone B, the creative zone. A slightly more relaxed space. Soft lighting, comfortable seating, visual inspiration. This is where brainstorming, planning, journaling, designing, big picture thinking comes naturally. Your brain enters a different mode when you change your physical posture and surroundings. Zone C, the recharge zone. This one is the most ignored, yet the most necessary. A tiny corner or setup where you stretch, breathe, rest your eyes, sip water, decompress. This keeps your brain from frying and your energy from collapsing halfway through the day. Even if you have a small room or a single desk, you can create these zones by shifting lighting, posture, background sound, the objects on your desk. Your space becomes dynamic instead of static, and so does your performance. 3. Redesigning your workflow through environmental cues. Your environment can guide your behavior without willpower. This is called contextual automation. Examples: want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a full bottle on your desk. Want to avoid scrolling? Put your phone in a drawer during focus blocks. Want to work out? Leave your workout clothes ready where you can see them. Small cues create massive behavior changes. Your environment becomes the coach that whispers the right instructions. 4. Protecting your focus. The environmental boundaries rule. You can engineer the perfect workspace, but if you don't defend it, distractions will invade. Set boundaries. 1. Time boundaries. Design specific hours for deep work and guard them fiercely. 2. Space boundaries. Let certain areas be 100% for work and others for rest. Mixing them kills performance. 3. Digital boundaries. Notifications off. Focus mode on. Apps hidden during work. If your environment is your engine, boundaries are your guardrails. 5. The Sunday reset ritual. Maintaining the ecosystem. A powerful environment doesn't stay powerful by accident. It needs regular resetting, like sharpening a blade. Every Sunday, spend 10 minutes. Wipe down surfaces. Reset tools and tech. Clear digital clutter. Reorganize desk items. Refresh scents or plants. Adjust lighting. Plan your top goals for the week. This ritual recharges your environment so it can recharge you. High performers don't wait for chaos to take over. They reset before chaos appears. 6. Adapting your environment with life changes. Your environment should evolve as you evolve. When your workload shifts, when your energy changes, when seasons shift, when your habits grow, update your ecosystem. Ask monthly: what's working? What's not? What needs to change? Peak performance is not a one-time setup. It's a living system, and you are its architect. 7. The performance ecosystem mindset. Once you engineer your environment, life gets easier. Not because you're suddenly more disciplined, but because your world is finally working with you. Your environment becomes your support system, your silent motivator, your energy booster, your focus protector, your creative spark. This is the chapter where performance stops feeling like effort. Your space becomes an extension of your goals, a physical representation of who you're becoming. Chapter 8. The Sensory Blueprint. Engaging all 5 senses for peak performance. Most people try to increase productivity by forcing more discipline or stacking more habits. But high performers understand a deeper truth. Your senses run the show. Your brain is constantly reading your environment through sight, sound, smell, touch, and even subtle shifts in air. These sensory cues shape your emotions, your motivation, your clarity, and even your stamina. If Chapter 7 was about building your ecosystem, Chapter 8 is about activating it, turning your space into a living, breathing performance machine through sensory engineering. Let's dive in. 1. The visual field. What your eyes see shapes what your brain feels. Vision is the dominant human sense. Up to 80% of your brain's sensory processing is visual. That means your focus, mood, and motivation are heavily influenced by what's in your line of sight. Start with visual decluttering. A messy environment isn't just ugly. It sends your brain constant micro-alerts. Unfinished tasks, items that need attention, stimuli competing for focus. Your brain becomes fragmented before you even start working. Upgrade your visual energy. Keep your primary workspace clean and minimal. Choose 1 or 2 visual anchors, a plant, a simple art piece, or a motivational cue. Use warm light for comfort, cool light for focus. Avoid harsh overhead lighting that drains energy. Your eyes should feel relaxed. If your eyes feel peaceful, your mind follows. 2. The soundscape. Engineering audio that protects your focus. Sound is the sneakiest performance disruptor. You might think you're used to. Background chatter, notifications, traffic hum, random house noise. But your brain is constantly shifting attention to process each sound, even if you don't consciously notice it. Designing the perfect sound environment. Option A, silence. Great for deep, analytical tasks. Option B, ambient sound. Nature sounds, rain, white noise, excellent for sustained focus. Option C, music for flow. No lyrics for thinking. Beats between 60 to 80 BPM can trigger a flow state rhythm. Lo-fi, classical, ambient electronic work surprisingly well. Pro tip: if noise is unavoidable, noise-canceling headphones instantly transform any environment into a controlled focus zone. Your brain performs differently depending on what it hears or doesn't hear. 3. The power of scent, the most underestimated performance booster. Scent is the only sense that bypasses logic and goes straight into the emotional memory center of the brain. That makes it a weapon for motivation, alertness, relaxation, creativity. Use scent intentionally. Peppermint boosts alertness. Lemon or citrus increases energy. Lavender helps with calm focus. Eucalyptus clears mental fog. Cedarwood or sandalwood grounding, good for evening work. You don't need fancy diffusers. Even scented candles or essential oil rollers work. Your environment should feel alive. 4. Touch and comfort. The physical sensations that affect performance. Your body is constantly sending the brain feedback. Chair pressure, temperature, fabric texture, desk height, posture tension. If your body is uncomfortable, your brain becomes distracted. Optimize the tactile layer. Use an ergonomic chair or cushion. Keep your desk at a comfortable height. Choose soft, breathable materials for clothing. Use textures that feel grounding: wood, soft fabric, matte surfaces. Add a cozy element, blanket, footrest, warm light to reduce stress signals. Physical ease, mental ease. 5. Air, temperature, and physical energy. Silent but powerful. Temperature sweet spot. 20 to 22 degrees Celsius, 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Best range for cognitive performance. Too warm, drowsiness. Too cold, tension and distraction. Airflow. Stale air reduces alertness. A small fan, open window, or purifier can change your entire mental state. Light movement. Standing up every 30 to 60 minutes resets your brain chemistry dramatically. Environment is chemistry. Your body reacts instantly to subtle physical cues. 6. Multisensory synergy. Combining sensory cues for flow. Peak performance isn't triggered by one sense. It's triggered by alignment. Imagine this workspace. Clean visual field. Natural light. Peppermint or citrus scent. Lo-fi beats. Comfortable chair. Mild cool air. One plan in view. Feels like flow, right? Your senses aren't fighting each other. They're working together. This sensory harmony becomes your mind's signal that it's time to perform. 7. Sensory rituals, turning senses into habit triggers. Rituals anchor your mind. When you repeat the same sensory setup before work, your brain develops a conditioned response. Oh, these cues again? Time to focus. Examples: lighting a candle before deep work, playing the same playlist, spraying a specific scent, adjusting your chair and stretching, placing your water bottle at your desk. These micro-rituals create mental anchors that automatically transition you into work mode. This is how top performers work at a high level consistently, not through discipline, but through sensory conditioning. 8. Evening sensory downshift, preparing tomorrow's focus. Performance doesn't end when you stop working. What you feel in the evening shapes next day's mental clarity. Create a sensory wind-down routine. Warm lighting, calming scents, soft textures, quiet or low-tempo music, visual tidying before bed. Your brain recognizes the day is done. Time to reset. You wake up sharper, lighter, and more in control. Wrapping up Chapter 8. This chapter transforms your environment from a neutral space into an active tool. Your senses stop working against you and start working for you. By mastering the sensory layer of your ecosystem, you're not just improving productivity. You're creating a world that constantly fuels clarity, focus, and energy. Chapter 9. The Momentum Paradox. Why winning feels harder than starting ****. There's a strange moment that hits everyone who's been disciplined long enough. You're finally winning, and suddenly everything feels heavier. Not harder in the way beginners feel it. Not confusing in the way newbies feel it. Heavier, weighted, loaded with pressure. And it shocks you because you thought, once I'm consistent, this will feel easy. Nope. Welcome to the Momentum Paradox, where success becomes the new responsibility, and responsibility becomes the new resistance. 1. The pressure of your new identity. When you've stayed disciplined for weeks, your mind subtly upgrades your identity. I'm the kind of person who sticks to routines. I'm not like before. I've outgrown my old habits. That's great until you hit your first tough week, because suddenly the stakes feel higher. Missing one day is no longer just a day. It feels like a threat, like a crack in the foundation of this new version of you. And here's the truth that nobody tells you. The more you grow, the more you fear slipping back into who you used to be. This fear adds a pressure that didn't exist at the beginning. Beginners fear failure, but consistent people fear regression. 2. When momentum makes life feel narrow. Momentum is addictive. When you've built it, you want to protect it. But protecting momentum can turn into obsessiveness. You say no to things that don't fit your routine. You avoid social situations that threaten your progress. You stop resting because rest feels like weakness. You don't slow down because slowing feels like danger. Suddenly, the routine that once made you powerful feels like a cage. This is the paradox. Momentum expands your potential, but if you hold it too tightly, it shrinks your life. Real discipline isn't rigid. It's flexible, strategic, adaptable. The goal is consistency, not perfection. 3. Why success brings new resistance. People think resistance fades as you grow. It doesn't, it evolves. When you're starting out, resistance looks like laziness. When you're further along, resistance looks like burnout, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of losing your progress, irrational standards, self-imposed pressure. Instead of fighting to start, you start fighting to sustain. Your mind begins negotiating differently. What if I can't keep this up? What if this is the peak? What if I disappoint people? What if I'm only disciplined because the conditions are perfect? Resistance becomes psychological, not physical. And if you don't understand this shift, you assume something is wrong with you, when really, this is what growth feels like. 4. The dip in motivation isn't failure, it's maturation. When you've gone through 30, 60, 90 days of discipline, you reach a new stage of growth. The dip. Not a collapse, a dip. Your brain is adapting. Your identity is stabilizing. The excitement is wearing off. The novelty is gone. This is normal. The dip is where beginners quit and transformers rise. When motivation fades, momentum becomes real. This is the stage where you stop being driven by feelings and start being driven by identity. 5. How to survive the momentum paradox. Here's how disciplined people keep going without burning out or breaking down. 1. Allow small failures. Not regressions, pauses. Missing a day doesn't break identity. Quitting does. 2. Stay human, not robotic. Life isn't a program. Discipline should bend without breaking. 3. Revisit your why every 30 days. Your reasons evolve as you evolve. Update them. 4. Switch from intensity to sustainability. Peak performance requires seasons, not constant push. 5. Celebrate progress without ego. You're not invincible, just consistent. That's enough. 6. What this chapter means for you. Once you've gained momentum, the game changes. You're no longer fighting to begin. You're fighting to balance. You're fighting to maintain identity without suffocating under it. You're fighting to stay disciplined without becoming a slave to routine. And here's the gentle truth. You're allowed to grow without being perfect. You're allowed to rest without losing progress. You're allowed to be human while becoming extraordinary. Momentum is powerful, but it's not your master, it's your ally. If you respect it without fearing it, it will take you further than anything else in your life. Chapter 10. The 1% Shift. How tiny adjustments turn discipline into destiny, asterisk, asterisk. By the time you reach this chapter, something interesting has happened. You're no longer reading for motivation. You're reading for refinement. This is what separates dabblers from transformers. Not massive changes, not dramatic breakthroughs, just small, precise adjustments that turn your discipline into a lifelong engine. People think success explodes from sudden big moments, but the truth is quieter. Your destiny changes through the tiniest 1% shifts you make daily. Let's unpack what those shifts look like and why they matter more than the grand gestures everyone loves to talk about. 1. The myth of big change energy. Most people try to rebuild their whole life in 1 week. They switch everything. New routine, new habits, new goals, new mindset, new diet, new productivity system, and then they wonder why nothing sticks. Big change feels exciting, but it's rarely sustainable. Because discipline isn't created in big moments. It's created in microscopic decisions that nobody sees. The real magic is in the 1% shift, the smallest upgrade that compounds relentlessly. 2. The power of tiny upgrades. Here's how a 1% shift feels. Drinking 1 extra glass of water. Reading 3 more pages. Waking up 10 minutes earlier. Stretching for 2 minutes. Rewriting your to-do list so it's cleaner. Planning your week 5 minutes before bed. Taking a short walk instead of scrolling. Improving your form instead of lifting heavier. These tiny actions don't give you dopamine fireworks. They're not Instagram-worthy. You won't get applause. But they quietly raise your baseline. Not your peak, your baseline. And your baseline is what determines your life. Motivation spikes create peaks. Discipline tweaks create baselines. And your baseline decides who you become. 3. The hidden role of friction. Success isn't just about doing more. It's about making the right things easier and the wrong things harder. This is called friction. Put good habits in your path. Notebooks visible. Workout clothes ready. Healthy food in reach. Phone far away. Environment aligned with purpose. Put bad habits behind friction. Hide apps. Block websites. Move distractions out of your workspace. People underestimate how much the environment shapes discipline. Sometimes your problem isn't lack of willpower. It's that your environment is designed for the past version of you. A 1% shift in your environment can save you from 90% of your battles. For when the 1% feels too small, there will be days when your mind says, "This won't make a difference." Such a tiny change can't matter. I need to do something big. But that's the old you talking, the you that tried to transform overnight and burned out. Understand this deeply. Small changes don't give small results. Small changes compound into irreversible transformations. If you try to improve 100% in a day, you'll fail. But if you improve 1% each day, you'll dominate your whole life. The 1% is small enough to start, but big enough to change everything. 5. The identity shift hidden in microactions. Every small improvement carries a message. When you read 5 pages, I'm someone who feeds my mind. When you clean your room for 3 minutes, I'm someone who respects my environment. When you stretch for 2 minutes, I'm someone who cares for their body. When you journal 1 sentence, I'm someone who reflects. These actions are tiny on the outside, but massive on the inside. They rewrite your identity. And identity is the foundation of discipline. You don't become disciplined by forcing yourself. You become disciplined by proving, through small actions, that discipline is who you are. 6. The 1% that matters most. Returning after you slip. Let's be real for a moment. You will slip. You'll have off days. You will skip routines. You will get tired or annoyed or distracted. But the worst mistake is thinking you've ruined your progress. You haven't. Your entire transformation depends on one question. How fast can you return? Not how perfect you can be. Not how long your streak lasts. Not how flawless your routine looks. The 1% shift is the ability to resume instead of restarting. That's the quiet superpower all successful people share. 7. What this chapter means for you. Reaching this point in the journey means you're ready for a deeper truth. Discipline isn't about intensity, it's about accumulation. Not radical changes, consistent increments. Not giant leaps, steady steps. The 1% rule isn't small. It's atomic, foundational, life-shifting. These tiny adjustments will rewrite your future more than any dramatic overhaul ever could. If you master the 1% shift, you master your story. And from this point forward, your life won't change in one big moment. It will change in 1,000 small ones, stacking silently until you wake up and realize you've become unstoppable.